Welcome to the Make More Dough podcast presented by the Mighty Baker. I am Pete Tidwell and I coach bakers how to make more dough in and out of the kitchen. Join me as I share my knowledge and expertise on essential topics for running a successful bakery business. If you're looking to take your bakery business to the next level, don't forget to visit our website to learn more about getting coached by Pete. Together, we can help you achieve your business and life goals and make more dough. Each week, I'll provide tips and strategies on mindset management, marketing management, and time management. But that's not all. I'll also be interviewing fellow entrepreneurs, bringing you their insights and inspiration to help you thrive in this competitive industry. Don't forget to join the Mighty Baker Make More Dough business Facebook group for a community of bakery and small food business entrepreneurs to connect and share knowledge. Tune in and let me be your guide on your journey to bakery business success. So come on and let's jump right in the mixing bowl and see what is being mixed up and discussed in this week's episode of the Make More Dough podcast. Let's go. Hey, what's up, you guys? Pete Tidwell here with the Mighty Baker Make More Dough podcast. I am excited to be here with you today. Last week's episode 54 was Take Action Even When You Don't Feel Like It. And it was a good episode. Go back and listen to it if you haven't. And you may hear it in my voice, but today is another one of those days where I don't really feel like doing this today because, first of all, I'm not feeling all the way better. And second of all, this last week has been fraught with so many challenges in my life. I can't even tell you, and I'm not going to go into any of those details, but so many things this last week that came up that just made it very, very difficult. And going into episode 55, and actually the next 6 or 7 episodes, I am introducing a series that I feel like is going to be extremely valuable for small business entrepreneurs out there, especially people that may have been doing it for a long time and maybe have had challenges, those kind of things. Because I had this thought just like a half an hour ago. I was really struggling trying to figure out what I was going to do for my podcast episode today, and I usually come out with them at 6 a.m., it's actually 9 a.m., so it's being released much later because I just didn't know what I wanted to talk about because I was having some struggles. Having some physical as well as mental health problems and issues that I deal with, just like many people in the world. And sometimes they hit hard sometimes. I have a lot of back problems that cause me a lot of issues. Anyway, but I put that out there because it's real, you guys. Like, the challenge of life is real. And the thing that came to me this morning was, I did something really hard yesterday in my life. And I won't go into details there, but I've done something kind of hard over the last couple of days in my life. And I had this thought of mine of, man, this is hard. Like, when does the hard stop? Like, why is this always just so hard? And while I do believe that, always life has its challenges, right? And it's always going to be hard. There's always going to be challenges. There's going to be challenges with our belief and challenges with other people, all those kind of things. But the thought that I had is, what if the hardest part is over? Or what if this is the hardest part? And from here, it's just on up. And that question to myself opened up a world of possibilities in my brain. And I just loved it. And I wanted to share that with you and share it with everybody that is listening. And putting together a 6-episode series that is entitled The Hardest Part is Over, Embracing Entrepreneurship and Self-Care. Because a lot of this comes down to your self-care and the reasons or motivations that you're doing things, those kind of things. And we're going to go into that. And it's going to be a very interesting journey because these are all things that I've been learning for myself. And I feel like I've opened up a lot of things and helped me overcome challenges in my life and in my business and relationships and those kind of things. I'm not perfect at any of these. I'm actually having a lot of challenges with a lot of these right now, but which is the reason that I'm diving into these, because I know that I can share insight and help share the experiences that I'm having and how that can help the business owners in the community out there, who is ever listening, because I think that the most valuable thing is to learn from other people's experiences. One future episode I'm going to do is around the whole idea of that if people learn that you're a baker or they taste one of your cakes or something, their first response is, wow, that's delicious. You should go up in a bakery. And I'm going to cover that in the episode, but it's usually not a good idea just to go and open up a business on a whim like that, right? Like there's a lot of things you got to figure out before you decide to jump into being a business owner or deciding to jump into entrepreneurship. Because if you don't have some things in place before you jump in there, it's going to be a rough road. And believe you me, I've lived the rough road. And I started my business about 11 years ago, and it has been a lot. And I've done well. I've done reasonably well, but on the other end, 11 years into it, I've got mental health and physical health problems and issues because of being an entrepreneur and pushing myself so hard. And to what end, right? And it's just kind of an interesting topic, and it's more of like a thought-provoking topic, because I don't have all the answers. I don't have the answer for you. There's nobody else out there that has that specific answer that's going to necessarily help me, and my answer may not help you. But the things that I talk about can at least spawn some thought in your mind of how you can maybe look at your life a little bit differently. So we're going to be talking about this in this series. I'm really excited because the whole reason for this is to support and empower entrepreneurs and small business owners through life and business challenges. That's why I'm covering this. And the overarching theme is that what if the hardest part is over? Or just stating that the hardest part is over. Because if you just even say that in your mind, you're all of a sudden immediately empowered, knowing that if the hardest part is over, then I can handle anything. And that, my friends, is a powerful place to come from. Like, if the hardest part is over, and if you've handled the hardest parts, then dealing with the future is not going to be hard because you've dealt with it before. And not saying you're going to have other hard challenges, and I don't mean to put that out there, but if you're in a place where you are feeling like it's just the hardest part of your life and you don't know what else to do, like having that thought that maybe you're going through the hardest time, or maybe you're getting over going through the hardest part, and then that can give you hope and a hope for a better time when you feel better, right? I'm going to go on and just kind of cover a couple of these upcoming 6 episodes and their topics. The overarching theme is shifting perspectives and fostering community, because I think those 2 things are going to help you leaps and bounds. You can hire a coach, you can do all those kind of things, but first off, you just need to be aware of different perspectives and be willing to shift your perspective, because sometimes your perspective is making you miserable and you need to shed some of that stuff so that you can look at it from a different perspective and realize, oh, things aren't so bad. And then also fostering community, finding other business owners, especially if you're a solo business owner and you spend a lot of your time working alone, find people to connect with. So in episode 1, we're going to be talking about life, business, and overcoming challenges. We're going to explore the inherent difficulties of life and added complexities of business ownership and entrepreneurship. We're going to discuss the concept of the hardest part and its individual variations. It's going to be interesting to kind of look at some of those things. We're going to highlight the importance of prioritizing personal fulfillment over external validation. Episode 2 is going to be the power of perspective, shifting beliefs for growth. We're going to be talking about discovering the transformative potential of adopting the belief that the hardest part is already behind us. I'm going to share personal stories and experiences that illustrate the positive impact of a perspective shift. We're also going to look at exploring the benefits of viewing life and business challenges through a different lens. Episode 3 is seeking support, whether that's mental health or community building, emphasizing the significance of mental health in the entrepreneurial journey. And I'm going to be encouraging people as we're listening to these to seek help when feeling overwhelmed and provide resources, right? Like when go and find resources that can help support you. And part of that episode, and you already know about this, but we'll talk a little bit more about this, but my Make More Dough Facebook community group is a safe place for bakery and small food business owners to connect and find guidance. Just as another reminder, we're going to talk about that in the third episode of this series. The next episode is going to be nurturing self-care, balancing personal and professional well-being, discussing the importance of self-care and maintaining a healthy work-life balance. I'm going to share practical strategies and tips for prioritizing self-care amidst the demands of entrepreneurship. I'm going to be really talking about that importance of the self-care aspect. It is a huge piece, you guys, and it's something that I never started doing until about 2 years ago, and I'm 38 years old. So it's something that all of us can do better at for sure. The next one is embracing community and the power of connection. And just talking about and exploring the challenges of loneliness and isolation often experienced by entrepreneurs, highlighting the benefits of a supportive community. And that's not only my Facebook community group, but all other groups out there, whether it's baking or restaurant or neighborhood or book club or whatever it is, find those communities to connect with so you're not alone. And then the last one of this 6-episode series is going to be about moving forward, thriving in life and business. We're going to summarize kind of key takeaways from the episodes, and then we're going to really talk about and drive in that belief. And I want you to think about this through these episodes. What are you going through right now? What have you gone through? And maybe the hardest part is over for you. Maybe it's not. Maybe you haven't hit your hardest part. But even if you haven't, what's the hardest thing you've done up to now? Because up to right now in this moment, because who knows, in the future, you can do whatever you want. But up to this moment in the future, that is the hardest part that you've gone through. So in the moment, you can say to yourself, the hardest part's over. Now I just get to go forward and up. I've done the hard thing. Anyway, I love it. It's very inspiring for me, and I'm really excited to cover these topics in these episodes. And in that episode, we're going to provide actionable steps and for your personal and professional growth, resilience, and finding fulfillment in both life and business. And I'm just excited about this, you guys. This all just kind of came to me in the last little bit, and I'm really excited about this. It's going to be a huge, meaningful set of episodes that is going to capture a lot of really important things for everybody to know out there. These 6 episodes will guide listeners through a transformative journey, providing insights, practical advice, and a supportive community to help entrepreneurs and small business owners overcome challenges, prioritize self-care, and thrive in their personal and professional lives. So, with that said, join us starting next week for a 6-week series on our podcast, normal days, Wednesday every day, going to drop a new episode, but join me on this series because this is going to be one you're not going to want to miss out on. It will be available for a long period of time, so please come, and as you are prepping yourself for next week to come listen, I would just recommend that you think about all of your life, business challenges that you have, and just have them. Like, think of all the challenges that you have, so that when you come to this next episode, you can bring that to that episode to listen, and you can think to yourself, like, what is the hardest, like, up to that point? And that was such a cool thing a few minutes ago, is right now, think about it. Close your eyes and think about it. Right this very second, you may be past the hardest part of your life, or a hard challenge in your life. Because in all honesty, tomorrow is a new day. An hour from now is a new time. Tomorrow's a new day, and you get to choose. You get to choose that. And if you can empower yourself with a shift of a perspective that maybe the hardest part is over, that it's all up from here. And that, my friends, is the positive energy that I want to come at life with. Anyway, love you guys. Love you all. Thank you so much for listening to my podcast. Join us for the next 6 weeks on this journey of the hardest part is over, embracing entrepreneurship and self-care. Thanks for tuning in to the Make More Dough podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform to help us improve and reach more listeners. Also, if while you were listening, you thought of somebody that would benefit from listening to my podcast, please share it with them. I would really appreciate it. Don't hesitate to reach out on social media or through our website if you have any questions or feedback. Keep baking, stay inspired, and see you on the next episode.